In this lesson, we're going to discuss the heads-up display. This heads-up display is on the top of your screen. I'm going to zoom out a little here so you can see it. And it's always there, and it's a bunch of common functions that we're going to use. So we're going to start out by looking at the first one. First one is zoom to fit. Zoom to fit allows us to zoom in and center any particular thing. Say I'm off the screen way out. Zoom to fit, we'll bring it right to center. Zoom to area is our next one. If I click that, you'll see it's depressed, and I get a little magnifying glass. This allows me to zoom in on any particular area. Let's see, I zoom in. And while it's still pushed down, I can zoom again. I still have the magnifying glass. I'll zoom in a little closer. I have that there. It's active until I click on it again, and it's not pushed down. Our next option is previous view. This will back up views until you get to where you want to be. So I'm going to go back one view. You'll see that was my first zoom. Go back another one, and that was my fit to screen. Next option is section view. This takes like a slice through your part. If I click that, you'll see it gives me this plane that I can take, and I can try to slice through my part. And I can bring it to any particular point and release and hit OK, and I have a slice through my part. It'll remain sliced in this section view unless I go up and I turn off section view. Notice how it's pushed down and it's gray? If I click on it, it'll get rid of that. It's no longer gray, and I have my full part. Next option is view orientation. This is to look at it in any particular view. So if I wanted to look at it in the top, for instance, click here. I'm now in my top view. Click here, I go isometric view. If I can get to it, isometric view. And you have other options. Kind of keep an eye on those. On the bottom, you have four particular options here. You can do single view, two views, top and bottom, two views, right and left, and four views. Let's say I do two views, right and left. You'll see I can control them. They're kind of linked to each other. Depending on which view I'm clicked into, you'll see the heads-up display move to the opposite view. To go back, I choose this and I tell it single view. And I'm back to my normal single view. I'm going to go to isometric to look at it here. Our next option is display style. You have 5 options. Shaded with edges, just shaded. Hidden lines removed, hidden lines visible, and wireframe. I'm just going to show you a couple of them. Hidden lines shown. You'll see I have my hidden lines there. Shaded. You'll see it's shaded. And shaded with edges. Notice the edges will light up, turn a little darker for you. It's easier to see. For the most part, you use shaded with edges. Next option is show hide items. In here, there's a bunch of items that you can either have visible or invisible. We're not going to talk about that too much in this lesson. Next option, this is the one everybody likes because it's fun. This one is appearance. And I click on appearance, and I can change things such as color. Like in the color over here, say I have a grid of colors. I can choose any color I want. Black's pretty bad, but we can go to something else. Red, orange. You also have the option, if you don't like the grid, to use this drag pick bar. And you can go psychedelic here. I'm going to pick some color. Go green. Other options are transparency, reflectivity. Transparency, if I drag this bar across, you'll see it'll turn it more transparent to where it's see-through. And back to fully shaded. Next option, once I accept this, is backgrounds, or a scene. In the scene, it defaults to studio room, but you can change it to anything you want. Let's say I want warm kitchen. You'll see how the background changes. You can change it to all sorts of different backgrounds. I'm going to go back to studio room. Last option is view settings. You have shadows, so if you want to see shadows or not. See down here in the bottom, you'll see shadows or not. And the other option is perspective view. Before I go to that, I'm going to go to my top view. You can see it a lot better in this view. Notice this area right here looks as though it's nice and crisp and straight down. If I change it to a perspective view, you'll see that perspective changes. It almost looks as though I'm looking down at the top of a building or something like that. It's as though you're looking straight down at it. So if I were to pan this around, notice how my perspective of the part changes. It's almost like a flyover in an airplane or something. It's more realistic to real life. That completes this lesson. Go on to the next.